Alright you guys, welcome back to another U150 video for the summer 2018 tournament. Today we're going to be talking about a new deck in the U150 tournament this time around, and that's going to be Aurorus. Now there's kind of a weird concept here with Aurorus at first, and I'll kind of explain the reasoning behind why we chose this deck to be one of the 32 representatives in the tournament. We've all known of cards like Pyroar and Mew from Evolutions and that sort of thing have abilities that block Pokemon attacking in a certain way, shape, or form. Now these cards always have been really, really bad in U150 because everyone plays Hex, everyone plays Goop, and there's just kind of easy ways to get around those things. So they have not been very successful. However, we finally now have an attack on a Pokemon that grants both of those effects, and now there's only two ways around that effect. Is either Pokemon Ranger or an Escape Rope Lysander play. That's really the only two ways around, convenient ways around those types of attacks. Now Aurorus has one of those attacks. Frostwall does 50 damage, and your opponent's evolved Pokemon can't attack you. And yeah, most decks are going to play some sort of basic that can get around this Frostwall, but most of those basics aren't going to be very heavy hitting, and certainly they're not going to be able to hit 160 HP reliably. If there was a basic that could hit 160 turn after turn on a basic, it would be very, very good, right? It would be played in U150. But most decks in U150 rely on a Stage 1 or Stage 2 attackers. Like I said, most decks, not every single one. But if it is an evolution, Frostwall will be able to tank that hit. So yeah, we think this is actually going to be kind of a good concept. There are like some basic Pokemon that will be able to hit this. There's going to be some cute Uxie Iris choice band plays that are going to deal a lot of damage to Aurorus. But we have a lot of healing sort of defensive cards in here, as well as ways to boost the damage from Aurorus. I'm going to kind of go over that real quick. Aurorus only has 50 damage, so we are going to play a full supplemental line of Crobat to help boost that damage. 50 really isn't going to be doing a whole bunch, but if you have all these bats dealing damage from the bench, that's going to be fantastic. So that's really the only way we're adding damage besides from your tools. Actually, sorry, we don't even have Muscle Band, and that's because we would rather have Hard Charm on there, because I think we're going to take the tankiness of the 160 HP over the extra damage. So Crobat's really the only way there. Like I said, you're going to have Hard Charm on there. The other Aurorus is going to have Ice Shield. I think that's what's called, Ice Shield? Sure. Attach Water Energy and reduce damage when it's attacked. You're going to have the healing of Manaphy and the healing of Rough Seas as well. So with all this together, I think it's 20, 30, 20, 40, 60, 80 reduced technically, like after healing and whatnot every single turn to try to keep Aurorus alive, hitting with Frostwall. And really, if you can't hit over 80 with a basic Pokemon, it's just going to be all healed off or reduced anyways. So Aurorus is just going to be this big tanky dude. Crobat will help you take those prizes. Frostwall. So like I said, there's only two ways around it. One way is Pokemon Ranger. There really isn't a way to stop Pokemon Ranger. However, most decks don't play Pokemon Ranger. And in this tournament, I think there's only one, maybe two decks that play Pokemon Ranger. So Frostwall is going to be very, very effective in this specific tournament. If you want to take this to like one of your locals, if you guys have a tournament, don't worry about Ranger because it's just not played. The other way is an Escape Rope Lysander play. Now, opponents are going to have to Escape Rope first and then Lysander, right? So they escape, put you to the bench, Lysander or Guzma it up, reset the condition. So what we've decided to do is play a 1-1 Armaldo line in, and Armaldo has this ability called Primal Veil. If he's in the active, your opponent can't play supporter cards. So that takes away the Lysander and Guzma play. Well, what it will grant them is it will grant them the Gust of Wind play. If they're going to use their Gust of Wind, they better be one-shotting Aurorus, because if you don't, you'll just heal it, and they will no longer be able to do the Escape Rope Lysander with Armaldo in play. Now, that does... the strategy that will be used against this deck is they will just try to Lysander and Guzma around the Aurorus. So the Aurorus will never be knocked out, but basically every single turn they're going to have to Lysander or Guzma up Claydol or Porygon. So that's one of the reasons that we're not really putting a lot of stock into this deck, because it's relatively easy just to take knockouts on our support Pokemon, and your active Pokemon only hitting for 50 damage, maybe 150 a turn, really not that special. So I think that's one of the big downsides of the deck, is that the damage output's super, super low. But if they can't Guzma or Lysander every single turn, you're going to steal free turns. There will be times in the game where you'll be able to attack with Frostwall and they have no response. So all they do is just try to set up, and then you just Frostwall again. Now keep in mind that this bat damage will be very, very good on their Claydol and their Porygons, because it does hit those magic numbers of Crobat hitting 50, 30, meaning 80 on Claydol, and then Sneaky Bite doing 20, 50, 70 on either Porygons. So that's another reason that those bats will be very, very good to take out their support Pokemon. Outside of that, I think a lot of the supporters and stuff seem kind of obvious. There are a lot more supporters in this deck because there's a lot of like Fossil Excavator, Fossil Researcher, Black Belt to help the damage, that sort of thing in the deck that are kind of needed. Pokemon Center Lady to help you keep healed. And then this deck also plays Ranger because Blizzard Burn is a thing. So if you wanted to use 150, you just can't use it the next turn. So if you're playing against a deck that just can't one-shot 160 anyways, and you just want to be this big tanky 150 over and over sort of thing, then Ranger is going to be the way to go. And it's the same reason we're playing a Switch and an Escape Rope, just to get that extra reset on Blizzard Burn. Mysterious Fossil and Sail Fossil are very... Mysterious Fossil, obviously, 4 to get into the Amoras, I think, whatever, and Anorith. But Sail Fossil, if you put Amora on the bottom with Claydol, Sail Fossil is going to guarantee to work every time. So it's pretty easy to get it out if you have that Sail Fossil. You'll just like Level Ball for an Amora or Dive Ball for one of those, put it on the bench, and Sail Fossil it out. So that's the reason for Sail Fossil, super, super good. What else? Yeah, Battle Frontier is another one that might confuse you at first. Now, this is one reason that we play Armaldo, right, is the Escape Rope Lysander play. But this is you can't place porters from your hand. You can definitely download around them, however, because download isn't from your hand, it's from the ineffective ability. So if they go Escape Rope, download Lysander, they'll be able to hit Aurorus. If you have Battle Frontier out, Battle Frontier says that your evolved Pokemon, or sorry, not evolved Pokemon, I believe it's Metal, Dark, and Colorless Pokemon can't use their abilities. So if they can't bounce that Stadium in the same turn that they're going to Escape Rope Lysander with your Armaldo in play, then Battle Frontier is just going to stop that download from ever happening, and they're going to just hit into your Armaldo. Again, for them, maybe it's not the worst thing in the world, but I digress. So that's why we play the Battle Frontier, if you're curious about that weird card that's not normally ever played. But outside of that, the rest of it's pretty self-explanatory. Double Colorless and Upper, because that is an EX, unfortunately, so you can't play Counter or Double Rainbow or anything like that. 10 Waters, I think it should be enough, because Water and DCE. Supplemented by Aqua Patch, you should be just fine. Anything else that's weird in here that I should explain? No? Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. You're just going to use Frost Wall, be really, really tanky with 160 HP, and just try to take cheap prizes with Crobat, and they're not going to do any damage to you, sort of thing. So, yeah, and then Blizzard Burn every so often. So, yeah, if you have any questions about Aurorus, let us know. It is a new concept. We're actually really excited to see how it's going to work out. I don't remember what it's going to play round 1, but I don't know. It might have some good matchups against its pool. So, yeah, let me know if you have any questions. If not, have a great rest of your day.